Hello, family. God bless you. Hope everyone is doing well. We'll pick up the book of Enoch, chapter 69. And after this judgment, I will terrify and make them tremble because they have shown this to those who dwell on the earth. And behold, the names of those angels, the first of them is Samjaza, the second, Artaquifa, and the third, Armin, the fourth, Kokabi, the fifth, Turiel, Turael, the sixth, Rumjal, the seventh, Danjal, but I guess it'll be Daniel and Ramyal, the eighth, Nequil, the ninth, Baraquel, the 10th, Azazel, the 11th, Armorus, the 12th, Batarjal, 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 the 13th, Basasil, the 14th, Hanano, the 15th, Turiel, and the 16th, Simapepsil, the 17th, Jethriel, the 18th, Tumael, the 19th, Turo, the 20th, Rumel, the 21st, Azazel. And these are the chiefs of their angels and their names and their leaders over hundreds and leaders over fifties and leaders over tens. The name of the first Yaquan, that is, the one who led astray the sons of God and brought them down to the earth and led them astray through the daughters of men. And the second was named Asbiel. The second was named Asbiel. He imparted to the holy sons of God evil counsel and led them astray so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. The third was named Gadriel. It is he who showed the children of men all the blows of death. And he led astray Eve and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. The fourth was named Penemu, Penemu, Penemue. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity and until this day. For men were not created for the purpose of confirming their good faith with pen and ink. For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroys everything, should not have taken hold of them. But through their knowledge, they are perishing. And through this, the power of their death consumes them. And the fifth was named Chazdijah. This is he who showed the children of men all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, and the smitings of the embryo in the womb, that it may pass away, and the smiting of the soul, the bites of the serpent, and the smitings which befall through the midday heat, the son of the serpent named Tabiet. And this is the task of Casbiel, the chief of the oath which he showed to the holy ones when he dwelt high above in glory, and his name is Bika. This angel requested Michael to show him the hidden name, that he might enunciate it in the oath, so that those might quake before the name and oath who revealed all that was in secret to the children of men. And this is the power of his oath, for it is powerful and strong, and he placed his oath, a K, in the hand of Michael. And these are the secrets of this oath: that heaven was suspended before the world was created, and forever. And they are strong through his oath. And through it the earth was founded on the water. And from the secret recesses of the mountains come beautiful waters, from the creation of the world and to eternity. And through that oath the sea was created. And as its foundation, he set for it the sand against the time of its anger, that it dare not pass beyond it from the creation of the world to eternity. And through that oath are the depths made fast, and abide and stir not from their place from eternity to eternity. And through that oath the sun and moon complete their course, and deviate not from their ordinance from eternity to eternity. And through that oath the stars complete their course, and he calls them by their names, and they answer him from eternity to eternity. And there are preserved the voices of the thunder and the lightning and the light of the lightning. And there are preserved the storehouses of the hail and the storehouse of the hoarfrost, and the storehouses of the mist, and the storehouses of the rain and the dew. And all these believe and give thanks before the Lord of spirits, and glorify with all their power. And their food is in every act of thanksgiving. They thank and glorify and exalt the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And this oath is mighty over them, and through it they are preserved, and their paths are preserved, and their course is not destroyed. And there was great joy among them, and they blessed and glorified and exalted, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed to them. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the sum of judgment was given to the Son of Man. And he caused the sinners and all those who led the world astray to pass away and be destroyed from off the face of the earth. They shall be bound with chains and shut up and imprisoned in their place of assembly, and all their works vanish from the face of the earth. And from that time forward, there shall be nothing corruptible, for that Son of Man has appeared and has seated himself on the throne of his glory. And all evil shall pass away before his face, and the word of that Son of Man shall go out and be strong before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 70. And it came to pass after this that during his lifetime his name was raised up to the Son of Man, and to the Lord of spirits from among those who dwell on the earth. And he was raised aloft on the chariots of the Spirit, and his name vanished among them. And from that day I was no longer numbered among them. And he placed me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took the cords to measure the place for the elect and righteous for me. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous who dwell in that place from the beginning. 71. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into heaven. And I saw the sons of the holy angels of God. They were walking on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their faces shone like snow. And I saw two rivers of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand and lifted me up and led me out into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of heaven, and all the storehouses of all the stars, and all the lights, from where they proceed before the face of the holy ones. And he translated my spirit into heaven of heavens. And I saw there as it were built of crystals, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. My spirit saw a circle of fire binding around the house of fire, and on its four sides were rivers full of living fire, and they encircled that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubim, and orphanim, and these are they who slept not and guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are in heaven above go in and out of that house. And they came out of that house, and Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them the head of days. His head was white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body melted, and my spirit was transfigured, And I cried with a loud voice in the spirit of power, and I blessed and glorified and exalted. And these blessings which came from my mouth were very pleasing before that head of days. And the head of days came with Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, and thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. And the angels came to me and greeted me with his voice and said to me, "This is the Son of Man who is born to righteousness, and righteousness abides over him, and the righteousness of the head of days forsakes him not." And he said to me, "He proclaims to you peace in the name of the world to come. And from there, peace has proceeded since the creation of the world. And it shall be with you forever and forever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsook him. Their dwelling place shall be with him, and it will be their heritage. And they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with the Son of Man, and the righteous shall have peace and an upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. Chapter 72. The book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relations of each according to their name, origin, and months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws, exactly as they are, and how it is with each of the years of the world and to eternity, until the new creation is accomplished, which endures until eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern doors of heaven, and its setting in the western doors of heaven. And I saw 6 doors in which the sun rises, and 6 doors in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in these doors. And the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. There were also many windows to the right and left of these doors. And first there goes out the great luminary, named the sun, and his sphere is like the sphere of heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate door and shines in the face of heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great door, which is the 4th. And in that 4th door, from which the sun rises in the first month, are 12 windows, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in heaven, he comes out through that fourth door, 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the fourth door in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer, and nights grow shorter to the 30th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by a ninth part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth door and sets in the fourth and returns to the fifth door of the east 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the fifth door. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east and enters into the sixth door, and rises and sets in the sixth door, 1:30 mornings, on account of its sign. On that day, the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east and enters into the sixth door, and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7 parts. And the sun goes out from that sixth door in the west and goes to the east and rises in the fifth door for 30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the fifth western door. On that day, the day decreases by 2 parts and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes out from the fifth door and sets in the fifth door of the west, and rises in the fourth door for 1:30 mornings, on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day, the day becomes equal with the night in length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that door and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises 30 mornings in the third door, and sets in the west in the third door. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than night, and the day shorter than day until the 30th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that third door and sets in the third door in the west, and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings arises in the second door in the east, and in like manner sets in the second door in the west of heaven. And on that day, the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from the second door and sets in the west in the second door, and returns to the east into the first door for 1:30 mornings, and sets in the first door in the west of heaven. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to the double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. And the sun has traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters that door 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a ninth part, and the night has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second door in the east, and returns on those in those his divisions, of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day, the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. And on that day, the sun rises from that door, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third door for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day, the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its days, 364. And the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the course of the sun. These distinctions are separated. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the great luminary, which is named the sun. And his return, as often as he returns, 60 times, and rises forever and ever. And that which rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night. And his light is 7-fold brighter than that of the moon. But in regard to size, they are both equal. Thank you for listening, family. God bless.